UFC 252 Miocic vs. Cormier 3 took place Saturday, August 15th at the UFC Apex. The main event will see the conclusion to the UFC Heavyweight Championship trilogy between Stipe Miocic and Daniel Cormier. This event will be closed to the public, and in case you missed it, Daniel Cormier knocked out Stipe in their first bout. Stipe came back and knocked out Cormier in their last match, and oh man, here we go for the trilogy. This fight is a legendary trilogy and might be the most important fight in UFC heavyweight history. Both fighters have incredible pedigrees and looking to solidify themselves as the greatest to do it in the octagon tonight. Let's talk Miocic versus Cormier. Stipe Miocic, 19-3, fighting out of Independence, Ohio, intends to defend his heavyweight championship for a record-setting 4th time. Stipe is the greatest heavyweight fighter to step in the octagon. He's looking to show the world that their last outing wasn't a fluke. Stipe defended his championship 3 times, holding the record for most consecutive title defenses in the history of the UFC heavyweight division. Stipe is considered by many to be the best heavyweight in mixed martial arts in UFC history. Stipe is a big, athletic, and well-rounded heavyweight that brings a well-balanced attack but usually relies heavily on his boxing and always has an excellent game plan of attack with a solid fight IQ. But on the other side of the octagon, you have Daniel Cormier, 22-2, fighting out of San Jose, California, and looks to prove that his first victory over Miocic wasn't a fluke and looks to further solidify the future Hall of Fame status. The former UFC and light heavyweight champion, Daniel Cormier, is a consummate professional with an incredible work ethic that has turned him in from just a wrestler to a true balanced mixed martial artist. He has continued to develop in all areas and a dangerous opponent, and looks to show the world that the first matchup was not a fluke and prove that he is the most dominant heavyweight on the planet. Alright, here's how it went down. Both fighters were patient early, feeling each other out, having made their strategic adjustments because of their familiarity, having faced each other 2 times already. Stipe came in very lean, and this was clearly part of his game plan to come in lighter and in incredible shape to go into deep waters to try to wear DC down again like their last outing, and showed a very solid fight IQ, making some great adjustments throughout the night. The majority of the fight took place on their feet, and both fighters landed their share of powerful strikes throughout the match. DC did utilize his wrestling early in the first round, but couldn't keep the champ down. Stipe made some adjustments throughout the rest of the fight, not allowing DC to use his wrestling and make it a stand-up fight, which clearly favored the champ. In their last bout, Stipe made some great adjustments and started to work the body of DC late, and it seemed to be the difference. Tonight, Stipe did a great job coming out early, working the body of DC and mixing up his striking, keeping DC off balance. Stipe did rock DC late in the second round. That ended with Stipe in a mount position when the bell sounded and looked to be close to a finish, but DC did recover. Unfortunately, earlier in the fight, DC inadvertently poked Stipe in the eye, and there was a short break, but later in the fight, Stipe returned the favor and accidentally poked DC deep in his eye, and the ref Mark Goddard did not catch it, and Cormier's eye was almost closed with noticeable damage, and after the fight, DC told Rogan his eye was almost completely black and could not see at all. The real story of the night is as the fight went on, Stipe kept making smart adjustments and did an excellent job walking DC down, using cage pressure to keep DC on the defensive, not allowing DC to break free, and made better adjustments throughout the fight that ultimately earned him the decision. Stipe Miocic defeated Daniel Cormier by unanimous decision to remain the UFC heavyweight champion. Alright, here's my final thoughts. Coming into this fight, there was a lot of questions on whether if this fight was a fluke or if Stipe is that good. Well, we have our answer. Stipe made really excellent adjustments tonight and showed off his fight IQ, executing his game plan perfectly. This trilogy is about as competitive as you can get, and I think it's safe to say Stipe answered all the questions we had about him, and when it counted, he brought the best game and showed us what we wanted to see. Alright, here's some quick stats on Stipe. He is the 2-time UFC heavyweight champion. He set the record for consecutive successful UFC heavyweight title defenses. He had 3 and 4 total title defenses. He's the number 3 ranked men's pound for pound fighter. He has 15 wins by KO. He has won 11 of his last 13. He now holds KO wins over Alistair Overeem, Fabricio Verdum, Mark Hunt, and now holds 2 victories over DC. Okay, what's next for Stipe? There's been a lot of rumblings about John Bones Jones moving up to heavyweight, and even some cryptic texts by Bones. But Dana came out in an interview and said the rematch with Francis Ngannou is next.
Francis is definitely next. I mean, you can't jump over Francis. Francis has been out there destroying everybody. And if you look at how long ago it was that he got that title shot, he's worked his way back. It belongs to Francis Ngannou. But yeah, John Jones going to heavyweight is very interesting.
The two faced off in the past, and although Stipe won, he took some serious damage. It was early in Ngannou's career, and he's a much better fighter than he was, and Stipe has only gotten better as the champion, so I can't wait for this fight. Guys, let me know in the comments who you think Stipe should fight next. Just wanted to give a big shout out to all of our loyal fans. We appreciate the support, and don't forget to smash that like button. This is Jay Catton with MMA Weekly's The Lowdown Breakdown. See you next time.